Some menorah. It's a dome. Bird's nest. Wreath. Aretha. A broom. A brush. A bow and arrow. Rib cage. This one's all dirty, so it has bugs. It's full of bugs. It's a little bug cage, a little bird cage. I don't know what this plant is, but it's very aromatic. There's something similar to weed with it. I don't know what it's called. This is where I was the first time I discovered wild carrot. There was just one of them here. And the red dot was very pronounced. And it just blew my mind. Herring. Blue herring. This one's starting to go to seed. Not quite. When they're like this, it becomes more turpentine-y. When they're like this, you can make a soothing tea, but when they get like this, they're more turpentine-y. When they're like this, they're very turpentine-y. Let's see if we can find one with a bug. Yeah, here's the wreath, the bird's nest, the cup. All from Persia. All from Persia. Look at them all. Let's see what we got over here. Ooh, there's a good size one. A green egg. Ribs, columns. Oh, I just can't get enough of these fucking things. There's a candlestick. The red dots aren't super pronounced this year for some reason. I might have missed the red dot season. Palm tree. Palm tree. Well, I'm gonna cut me some of these. Say you're not supposed to by the railroad tracks because the chemicals on the railroad tracks, but I live right beside the railroad tracks, so I've already got those chemicals in me through and through. Maybe I'll leave the roots. But yeah, I mean, this isn't what we think of as a carrot. It's humongous. It's huge. And it's not even a big one. Yeah, and I've often wondered why they call flower flower. I have this feeling like if you were to dry out all these flowers and use the actual petals for flower, I mean, it would be full of yeast. Is there any reason why you couldn't just take the petals of these and make a bread? Why would they call flower flower? Right? That would take a big commitment, patience. Okay. So. Here amidst all the railroad trash. Hope you're having a good day. And these ones have the pink on the outside. I don't know if that's a yeast or... There are ones that have a little blue ring. Some of these have the pink. That's a nice red dot there. Sweet wind, sanguine wind, sweet sanguine wind, yeah. Flutter wind, flutter wind, flutter wind. So I just brought these flowers home in a plastic bag, and these ants are oblivious to the fact that they are now a long way from home. I try to pick ones without bugs or shake the bugs off, you know. But you always end up, when you pick wild stuff, you always end up smuggling the bugs. Saw a little spider on here a minute ago. Yeah, these guys are just foraging and doing their thing, and at some point they're going to be like, these guys must like wild carrot even more than I do. Be like a crackhead on a crack plant. funny looking ants. Yeah, you can see the pink there pretty well. Again, I'm not sure if that's just like a yeast or just seems to be on usually the younger ones. Like I said, I know they also ones come about with blue. Okay. I like how this one is all bulbous, and they don't all grow out in a perfect ball. That one looks like a little face, little lamb. It's got like the bulb, but then a lot of these smaller bulbs, especially on the end, they have the little extra big petally things that come up, almost looking like little ears. It's a little lamb. But yeah, I like how these ones, the little flowers are more bulbous. That's really pretty. But anyway, just thought I'd catch that real quick. The main purpose for this video, see, everything, I got my COVID-19 mask on and everything, but doesn't really seem like besides that much is amiss, right? Check this out. Hard to see in this light. I shaved my mustache right here and my chin right there, all the way down. It's kind of a cool look. It would make it easier to eat. I'm gonna shave it all off, but I've always wondered what this would look like. And then I did it to my head too, which is a very bad case of dry scalp. I call it the skunk. It's like the anti-mohawk, the anti-Hitler, anti-mohawk skunk rock. I'm a skunk rocker because I smell bad too. Smoker, sweaty. What do you think? Could be a look. Maybe next time. I do like the beard part. The head, I don't know. Skunk rock. Pepe Le Pew. So, I did it. I normally do it like once a year. This year, well, for the last several years. This year, I waited longer than I have the last several years, but got a pretty good rash. Takes a long time to shave the back of the head. I use this mirror. It takes a long time. Really bad, like dry scalp. I don't know what those, like, what psoriasis or what's the other one? Psoriasis, and there's no, that's not it. I can't remember, but you know, a lot of acne, rash, irritation. But anyway, should be easier to just take a shower. I have kind of a funny shaped head, I feel like, but maybe heads are just shaped funny. I hope this I hope this symbolizes change in my life. I'm torn between being really excited for some of the things that I'm learning, while at the same time being too discouraged with how stupid I think I am. And I'm plenty stupid, but I feel like there are people who are stupider than me who I would love, so to speak, because they're good and lovable. And I guess, you know, it's an aesthetic change, but symbolic. And I'm hoping that it symbolizes loving my lovability. I can be very hateful. I can be very cruel and very mean. But there's no solution to that. Like, I'll never get to the bottom of it. I gotta get to the top. And I hope it symbolizes me trying to quit smoking and quit drinking. It's bad. It's bad. So yeah, I'm torn between being so excited for some of the things I'm discovering. And I know a lot of things I think I'm discovering, or think I might be discovering, I'm not. And it's not like I'm the first among anything I've discovered, but when we discover something that's already known that we didn't know, it's still a discovery. But there is something special about now, and about the crumbs that have been left through time. And to that extent, despite all my crap, like, there is something really special about me here now, uncovering the story of stories, or at least the hidden story, to my mind, a good chunk of the hidden story that's been left for a solid 500 years, but pretty much a couple thousand years. We all have a lot of work to do, but it's pretty amazing that we live in a time where I can hold something in my hand and learn about this story without really knowing very much. It's pretty awesome. And yeah, I'm torn. I'm torn between the excitement for that, the joy of it, and the discouragement with myself and the way I live my life. And I'm also I'm not burdened by, but I feel a burden of the challenge, of the gift of being able to learn and being able to serve. It's like, I've been given this gift, I can learn. Great. What's that mean? It means there's a lot of work to do. And it's hard. It's hard for me. It's kind of like a little prayer or a little reminder to myself if I watch this again, which I will. But if I watch it in the future, the hair will grow back. I'll be a hairy dude. I mean, I'm still plenty hairy everywhere else. I just on the one hand, thank God, I'm still able to do things. I feel pretty miserable a lot physically. Mentally, emotionally. I hope this can symbolize a change where I start taking those little baby steps to make real improvement in my own personal life. I'm hurting myself. That's not good. I was listening to, I watched 3, I'm not sure if there's more than that, but 3 of the Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson podcasts today. And one of the things that struck me, and it's related to baby steps, is setting the bar too high. You gotta set the bar low enough that you can make goals you can actually achieve. I need to make goals I can actually achieve. Today, that meant I didn't have a drink until about 10 o'clock at night. I drank some herbal tea, some tension tamer. That's better. Anyway, not to be too heavy or too pathetic, but just trying to tell it like it is. Trying to get there. But despite all that, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll destroy myself. But if I can get the story out before I do, then I did something. And it's not really a lot of good to wish for good for everybody else, but not for yourself. But all kinds of people, if I fix myself and never was able to uncover the story, I know I'm uncovering it, but I think I'm constructing a way to tell it. If I can construct a way to tell it and I die in the process, I don't want that to happen. But if that story doesn't get told now without me, then that's what needs to happen. I know it's kind of a fucked up way of looking at it, but the story can't wait. It can't wait. It can't wait. Yeah, I've said it before. If I save myself I guess I gotta think more on it, but hope you're having a good day. Couple quick disclaimers. One is couple quick disclaimers. One is when I said I drank herbal tea, what I meant is I drank herbal tea at like 8 o'clock, but I hit the booze at about 10. That's what I meant. The other one is the keeps coming up, and I have to keep reminding myself because I still have some logical glitches, but there's no saving myself. But what there is preserving this shell long enough to do the work I need to do. So that's the goal of health. To stay here long enough to get the job done. And if it benefits me too, awesome. But if it just benefits me, if I put myself into just benefiting me, then I don't benefit others. And that's pretty much black magic. And there is an entire system of it. And that's the difference, black magic versus white magic, so to speak. And that's a misnomer too, because then there's the white magic of only good and the black magic of only evil. But then there's the quote-unquote white magic of totality versus black magic of partiality, meta structures, meta paradigms. There's the white of opacity, there's the white of clarity, there's the black of true dark, like bad darkness, bad dreams, and there's the dark of essentially eternity, different type of vacuity. Yeah, the disclaimer is there is no saving the self without service, in some sense. And I'm not saying that I'm serving, but I'm working on it. That's what all of these hours of me sitting here alone, talking to myself, in this mirror, in this phone, and my other phone, and working on my computer, like, this could all get wiped out tomorrow. It could all be deleted tomorrow. But I've still cultivated a practice of, I've learned things. I've talked a lot of shit. I've done a lot of crap. I'm hoping I haven't done more damage than good. But man, if I can get this story, and it's not my story, see, that's the thing too, it's not my story. But for some reason, it's my job to work on it. Just like anyone we admire, anyone I admire, and I admire thousands of people, big and small, just like you. It's our job to work for each other. And even if I'm not doing that, I'm cultivating a practice that could potentially get me to a place where I'm actually doing that, where I'm actually serving. But I also have to serve myself enough that the power of the story and the power of the counter story, and I don't mean it in a Hegelian thesis antithesis type of way. Necessarily. But I'm already getting too long-winded and ephemeral. Not necessarily in a good way, but I have to do the hard work of making myself better so I can do a better job at service. It's serving. And so I can be tougher to protect innocence and beauty. And the beauty of like frailty and fragility, and not the frailty and fragility of the brat child, the crying, screaming brat child, which I am mostly. But those tender things that require nurturing, that become so beautiful and so strong once nurtured through their beauty, or once nurtured through their fragility. Guy at work the other day said to me, "Life is fragile, Jeff." I can't even remember what we were talking about, but it came up organically in the conversation, and he was kind of just walking away from it, and he said, "Life is fragile, Jeff." All right. And cultivating the will to will oneself strong enough to protect that fragility is a tough, horrifyingly tough job. And I just want to find better ways of dealing with the horror. And healing the horror. Not battling it, not killing it, healing it. I don't want to slay the devil. I want to heal the devil. I don't want to rise up the devil. I don't want the devil to take over God. I don't want God to defeat the devil. I'm saying God never meant to defeat the devil. We're that devil. We're that devil. The God of gods leaves no one behind. The God that kicks devil out is the devil. The devil, it's not God who kicks the devil out of paradise. It's the devil who kicks God out of paradise. And I don't mean that in a, I forget it. There's one of the Gnostic sects who believe that, like, the world is just purely evil. And that's one of the reasons, like, talked about it before, like sex for salvation, or like people who do all these, like, quote unquote deplorable things, or not deplorable, but like Dionysian things, like to kind of spit in the face of God, because they say this whole place is evil. But that's not it either. It's the way in which the eternal God had to dissociate itself from itself temporally in order for creation. And that the eternal God knows all, but the God in time does not. But all gets bigger. Like this is a question I don't hear people ask a lot, or ever, but can eternity grow? Can there be, it's the same thing with, like, what's his name, Georg Cantor, like different sizes of infinity. If we think of eternity as a singularity, as a collapsed point, are there different sized black holes? Are there black holes with different masses? Are there bigger and smaller eternities? Versus temporal gods. We are the temporal God of free will. We, individual human beings, are the temporal God of free will. The good God in time is associated with a previous eternity. We, as the Omega, represent the possibility of a larger eternity at the end of time. We also represent, via our free will, if we fail, a smaller eternity at the end of time. It's our job to make the right choice to create a larger eternity. So that God can understand God better. And I'll tell you, Alex Jones, man, it's one of the greatest, like, philosophical points, and it's like, you could say it this way, that way, 100 times over, different ways. I don't care who it came from. I don't care who said. It's like Yogi Berra, right? Yogi Berra. It's kind of like when Alexander the Great met Diogenes, and Diogenes told him to, like, get out of the way because he's, blocking the sun, or he's standing in the, Basically, I'm like Alexander the Great, and Diogenes was like, well, can Alexander the Great please get the fuck out of the way? Type thing. And then Alexander the Great told whoever, like, if I weren't Alexander, I'd be Diogenes, you know? A guy who lived in a barrel, jerked off in the street, you know? But yeah, like, I've been saying for a while now that, you know, at least symbolically, the philosophy of Greece ended when they found Aesop. At least symbolically, like, as part of the story, like, the philosophy of Greek ended when they found Aesop. Or when they collapsed upon Aesop. And in some sense, like, if Aesop weren't Aesop, he'd be Yogi Berra. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, when Alex Jones said on the Joe Rogan podcast that God knows everything, except for where God came from. That's tough, man. It's tough. And that goes for you and me. And that's one thing we all have in common with God and with each other. And if you don't believe in God, then that's one thing that you have in common with the center of all things, where God isn't. Where we are. Hope you're having a good day. And I do mean that.